In this video, we will try to understand a very important concept in SSAS called as KPI. KPI stands for Key Performance Indicator. KPI helps to define and measure progress of a business goal or of an activity. Now let us say we want to set some targets for our customer sales and we want to measure that will we be able to reach that target or not. So in other words, we want some indicators which can tell us that our performance is good or bad. Now in order to do this, we need four things. First, we need to know where our customer sales is at this moment. So is it 100, 200, 300? So we need to know the actual value. Second, we need to know that what is the goal, what is the target which we want to achieve. So if we say that, okay, our sales is X, so probably do you want X plus 10% or X plus 20%? Third, you'd like to know the current status of your sales. Status means, is it good? Is it bad? Is it okay? And the last thing what you would like to know is that at this rate of sales, will we be able to reach our goal or not? In other words, we would like to know the trend. Is it moving in a positive direction so that we can reach our goal or not? So in other words, we need four things: current value, what we want to achieve, what is the status, and the trend. Is it positive or negative, which will help us to understand that can we reach our goal or not. So we need at least these four indicators to measure our performance or to measure our progress. So KPI helps you to define all of these four things. So you can see that on the SSAS tab, we have the KPI tab. So let us click on this KPI tab. And over here, you can see this link over here saying new KPI. So let us go and click on this. And once you click on the new KPI, let us give a nice name to the KPI. So we will say here, okay, this KPI is customer sales progress. Okay. And you can see over here, this is the value. Remember I said we need four things. So you can see that this is the value. This is what you want to reach, the goal. This is the status. So you need to write some expression here for the status. And then finally you have the trend. So you can see all of these four things, KPI helps you to define, right? So first thing I will say here, okay, my value which I want to measure is actually customer amount. Okay, so this is my current value. And where do you want to reach? So yes, I'll say, okay, so whatever is the customer sales amount, I want to reach, let us say 1000 extra on that. So in other words, if 100 is my target, is my current value, then I want to reach 1000 plus 100, that is 1100. Okay. So this is my current value and this is what my goal is, which I want to reach. Now the next thing is the status. Now the status is nothing but it tells that the current value, what you have, depending on that value, how will you put the status? Is it good? Is it bad? Or is it okay? So in the status indicator, you can actually write an expression like this. You can see I have written an expression here. I can say that, okay, case, when under certain condition, if things are good, the value will be 1. If things are bad, the value will be -1. And if things are okay, the value will be 0. So KPI in SSAS, whenever it talks about the status indicator, it rates them with the value 1, -1 and 0. So 1 indicating good, -1 indicating bad and 0 indicating okay. And you can accordingly choose the colors from here, saying that, okay, do you want to show a green, red, such kind of a color, what exactly, right? So now what I can do here, I can say that, okay, case, when the customer amount is greater than 1000, that means it is a very good condition. When the customer amount is less than 1000, then it is a bad condition, right? And in remaining condition, I will just say everything is okay. So that means 0. Now the final thing is the trend. Now if you see the trend, right, in trend what we should be doing is we should be comparing the previous value with the current value. So if the previous value is more than the current value, that means it's in a downtrend. If the current value is more than the previous value, that means it is an uptrend, right? So over here, in order that to set the trend, we need to compare with the previous value and the current value. So in order to get the previous value, we need to put the code something like this. So you can see here what I'm saying is, I'm saying that, okay, go and take the time dimension, and from the time driven dimension take the previous member. Okay, so whatever is the current time dimension, from that just go to the previous member, and from there take the customer amount. Okay, so I will say, okay, if this previous member which is coming from the customer amount, if it is greater than the current member, you can see now this is the current member, this is the previous customer amount value. Okay, so if the previous value is greater than the current one, that means you are in a downtrend, minus, right? If the previous member value is less than this, that means you are in an uptrend, or else it is just zero, right? So for a trend, we need to actually compare the previous value and the current value to set the trend, right? So now let us go and save this. Now again, this KPI has to be processed. So in order to process the KPI, you can see the left button over here, process. So let us click on this and let us try to process the KPI. So you can see that he is processing the KPI. When I say processing the KPI, means he's actually processing the cube. Good. So everything done. Nice. So there it is. Everything deployed, everything processed, and he is starting writing everything to the fact partition. You can see that when the process cube is working, down below we also get the status saying that what is happening, right? Slow. So there the cube is processed. So now let us go and see in the browser the KPI value. So let us go back to the browser, and remember we have made a lot of changes, so you need to reconnect, right? Or else you won't be able to see the cube data. So now what I will do here, let me first go and drag and drop all the KPI. Okay, so you can see that I've dragged and dropped all the KPI values, and let us now go and drag yearly wise. Okay, so there it is. You can see first thing, we have the value of the sales, and then plus 1000, what is the goal which we want to achieve, right? And now you can see over here, there is -1 and there is 1, so here you can see the progress. So it is saying that, okay, if the value is less than 1000, right, remember, then it is -1. But if the value is more than 1000, then the sale progress is good, so it is 1. Okay, and you can see over here now, this is the last field over here is a trend. So you can see now this is 600, the previous value, and this value is 400. So 2011 sales was less than 2010. That's why the trend is -1. You can see over here the 100 value is less than 400, so it is -1. But look at 2013 and 2012. We are saying here that 700 is more than 100, so the trend is positive. So you can see even the trend calculations are happening properly. Good. But now this view, what you see over here, is a developer's view. Means over here, seeing the values as -1, 1 and 0 is fine. But when you look at end users, for them, it would be great if we can show something in a color coding. If we can say that, okay, like green color is for 1, and then red color is for -1, and something is for 0, right? So if we can show some kind of a color coding rather than showing such kind of a thing, that would make more sense, right? So now this showing of the color coding depends on the user interface. Means, for example, if I go and see this KPI through Excel, so let me go and connect through Excel. So if you remember, we had connected the cube through Excel previously. So first thing is we need to get the server name. So quickly, let me go and check this KPI via Excel. Slow. So let me first copy the server name here. So I'm going to go and copy the analysis services service server name. So we go here and from analysis services, copy this, next, and finish. So when you go and see the KPI using Excel, over here, you would see that the color coding comes properly, because the user interface of Excel is rich, right? It supports such kind of a color coding. So for example, you can see over here, when I click on the value, the goal, the status, the trend, you can see that how the color coding is coming over here. So you can see this sign here of circle, the sign here of uptrend. Let me go and also pick up the year. So I will go and pick up the year on the row level. Okay. Yeah, now that makes more sense. Now you can see now how it is showing, rather than showing -1 and 1 and 0, you can see that it is showing an uptrend, it is showing a red sign, it is showing a green sign, right? So when you are seeing the KPIs through the browser view over here, this is a developer view. So in developer view, you actually see the values, and end users will not connect to this browser. End users will connect to such kind of a Excel sheet, right? Great. And also, if you want to go and see the KPI, the KPI color coding and the KPI values, what you can also do is you can see from this KPI tab also. So you can go to the KPI tab. Now this view, what you see over here is a form view. Form view means when you are actually filling the values, at that time this view comes in. So you can see over here, when you move your mouse, it says that you can also go and see the browser view. Okay, so when you click on the browser view, you can now see the KPI with the color coding, right? So value, goal, status, and trend. Okay, so one is you can go to the Excel and see the view where you can see the color coding, or you can go to this browser view over here in the KPI tab, right? But normally end users connect through Excel. This is again a developer's view over here. So this is only for testing purpose, what you see. It is not that the end users will log in here and see this view. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. In this video, we were trying to understand, what is KPI and what is the importance of KPI when it comes to measuring progress, when it comes to measuring success. Thank you so much.